Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. I just finished a workout. So I wanted to get on here real quick because I hadn't gone live in like over a week. Instagram, Facebook, I don't know if y'all been noticing, but like social media is tripping nowadays. Good morning, Jasmine. How's your weekend going? How's your homework assignments going, girl? Um, I hope everyone has a fantastic Saturday. It's cold here this morning in North Carolina. So when I took the dogs out, I had to bundle up. Cold to me is like 40, so I don't like the cold. But I wanted to get on here this morning and just share another story with you guys because I haven't been MIA, but last weekend I was traveling. I was in Texas visiting some old friends. So I wasn't really able to go live and stuff. The time change kind of messed me up, even though it was only an hour, but still. But oh, good. I'm so glad. I love to hear that. She said this week, homework is going good. I love this week's assignment and meditation. So you are one of my superstars. All of y'all are superstars, but you are one of my superstars doing the work. Yes. So I know in class we really aren't focusing on CRNA stuff yet, but there's a reason for that. And the reason is that we have to get rid of the internal baggage, and I call it junk, like junk mail. Basically, we have to clean all that out so that we can make room for the abundance that we're about to receive. So whether that's getting your ICU experience, getting the confidence to sit for your GRE, your CCRN, your CSC, your CMC, whatever certifications you want to do, if CRNA school is your goal. If CRNA school isn't your goal, then still getting rid of the junk that's kind of cluttering your inner energy is going to clear so much, and it's going to open up so that you have the confidence, you have the self-esteem. You're not thinking anymore, dang, I don't have enough experience to coach. Like even for me, like I felt like nobody really wants to coach with me, nobody really wants to hear what I say, until I did this inner work. It's like that's not true at all. I had 10 people sign up with me on my first launch. So this work is really important because the last thing you want to do, so let's say CRNA school is your goal, the last thing you want to do is freeze when it's time for interviews, right? Or freeze when you're in CRNA school, when you're in clinical and you have that nasty preceptor one day and you walk into the OR and boom, they trigger you. So we want to address those triggers beforehand. Or if you don't even know that you have these triggers yet, I give you the tools so that when something does trigger you, you know how to bring it to light, process it, and not let it overtake your whole entire mindset, right? I think Ryder wants to say hi to y'all this morning. Hold on. You want to say hi to the people? Okay. He likes going live now, too. You want to say hi? Say, good morning, everyone. It was his birthday, as y'all saw. So we had a little... Uh-oh, here comes Teddy. Teddy just jumped off the couch. I just heard his big thud. I'm not picking you up, Teddy. You're too heavy. Ryder's only 11 pounds. He got a new collar. Say, see my new collar. Teddy, you don't even like people like that. Ryder's my much more social butterfly. And he's feeling better, but he's not as crazy as he used to be. Like Ryder used to be freaking nuts. But he's calmed down a lot since he's been sick. Teddy, you want to say hi to the people? Y'all interrupt my whole live. I was just dropping some gems. Teddy, now they're talking back. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Okay, back to the gems that I have for y'all. So, the last thing you want to do is be in CRNA school, grad school, or even be a CRNA. I was a CRNA, y'all, and I still had these unconscious, subconscious beliefs running on a daily basis with me. you know, I still had imposter syndrome as a CRNA. Like, doing the big cases. Oh, I'm not good enough to do these big cases. They need someone who does these all the time, and I didn't really do that many when I was in school. So we have to address these issues before we let them overtake our lives, and that's why I created my coaching program. And so far, we're on week 2. I've been taking it light on them. I've been giving them homework assignments and some meditations to do. But starting this week, this coming week, we're really going to hit hard. We're going to start going in on the childhood subconscious beliefs that were imprinted on us, some before we were even born. We were in our mother's wombs, or our mother's womb, like 6 generations. Remember I said stuff, trauma, subconscious beliefs, paradigms, negative paradigms, all of that could have been imprinted on you 6 generations ago. And that's what science is showing now. It could be even further than that. So we're really going to start hitting hard on that stuff in this coming week for my students. And I'm just truly excited because I know that it is completely life transformative. And like I said, you don't want to show up in nurse practitioner school, or you don't want to show up in life without knowing what are your triggers and what is running on an unconscious level for you day to day. Because anything that's running unconscious is going to manifest and show up in your life. So we're going to bring those things to light. We're going to address them. We're going to process them. And we're going to let them go so that we can show up as our best, whole, authentic selves day to day, and not let things like imposter syndrome overtake us. Okay? Let me tell you a story real quick. So, for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book 2 years ago. Yes, 2019. Acceptance Granted. One Woman's Journey to Becoming a CRNA. That was the first book I wrote. I self-published it. I wrote it because I had started showing up on Instagram, right? Because I was getting over to the limiting belief that nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Nobody is really going to show up if I show up on Instagram. But as soon as I started showing up on Instagram and like posting my day to day and, just showing my face, like, hey, I'm a CRNA. This is what I do from day to day, because I realized that how can I boost this profession? Like, how can more people know about this profession if we don't talk about it? If we're like this unseen, I call us the Smurfs. Was it the Smurfs or the Gummy Bears? Those characters that were like hidden. They were like secret characters. And so if we weren't showing up, how could people know about us? So that is why I started showing up back in the end of 2018 on social media. I started getting a whole lot of inbox messages. Hey, oh my gosh, you're a CRNA. I've never seen a Black CRNA before. I want to be a CRNA. And so I was getting all these questions in my inbox about becoming a CRNA, right? So that is where the preface of me writing my first book came from. I figured if I can outline what it was like to go to CRNA school, what my background was, and answer some frequently asked questions that I've been getting, I can deliver to so many more people instead of being in my inbox all the time trying to answer the same questions over and over. So I wrote my book, Acceptance Granted, right? With no ill intentions at all. This was going to be a resource and an educational resource for aspiring CRNAs, right? So the job that I was at that time, they found out that I had written a book. So they decided to support me by buying copies for the entire anesthesia team. That included CRNAs, secretaries, and the anesthesiologist, physician anesthesiologists, right? The whole group, the whole anesthesia group got a copy of my book. So I was like, oh, wow. I was very grateful. Thank y'all so much for supporting me on this journey. I didn't think anything of it, right? So days start going by, and I'm noticing that I am being placed in the same operating room for like every day. Like, I'm not getting any variety of cases anymore. Like, it's only a certain room, and it's one of the harder rooms. It's like one of the coldest rooms, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? But still, really didn't think about it. And then I had decided I was gonna look into taking a locums assignment, right? So I was talking to some recruiters, and they asked for reference letters. So I reached out to one of the physician anesthesiologists that I work with, and I was like, hey, do you mind writing me a reference letter? I'm going to, take a locums assignment. And she didn't respond. And me and her were like, cool. So I was like, maybe she's just busy. So like a couple more days went by, and literally I'm still being placed in the same operating room over and over again. So I'm like, what is going on? Now I'm starting to think, like, what is going on? So then I kind of started reading people's body language at this job, and they weren't really talking to me as much. And I'm like, does this have something to do with my book? So now I'm thinking, well, what did I write in my book that, or maybe it's just because I wrote a book. I don't know. So now I'm starting to get like, my limiting beliefs are starting to creep up on me. Like, oh my gosh, is it you? Is it because you wrote a book? Like, maybe you shouldn't have written a book. Like, so now I've got all of this playing in my head, right? So I reached back out to that physician, and I was like, hey, I'm not sure if you got my last text about writing a reference letter for me, but is this something that you'll do for me? Now, for those of you who are always like, asking about, asking certain people for reference letters for CRNA school and stuff, this is a good example of how this can turn around and also happen in the work world, even as a CRNA. So I understand completely when you say you don't want to maybe go to your manager to ask for a reference. But I'm going to tell you how this all worked in my favor, okay? So I reached back out to this physician about writing me this reference letter, and she responded, and she said, due to some of the things you wrote in your book about anesthesiologists, I don't think it's appropriate for me to give you a reference letter. So now I'm like, what the heck did I write? So now I'm like going through my book, and I said to her, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I didn't write anything negative intentionally about anesthesiologists. And she was like, on page that like, she had the page number, she quoted word for word what was written in this book, right? My first book. So I go back to the book and I look at it, and I had written, I would have to get the book, but basically I had done a locums assignment 2 years prior to that. And that group of anesthesiologists that I had worked with, they saw the patients in pre-op, and that was it. There was no more interaction with them. They sat in their anesthesia lounge, and the CRNAs, we did all the cases. So I had made a comment in my book about, I don't have a problem with physician anesthesiologists. We work as a team. The only ones I have a problem with are the ones who don't help. And that goes for CRNAs too. There's some CRNAs who don't help. But that anesthesia group that I was working with took that as a personal attack on them, even though I wasn't referring to them at all. And this is the first time I've ever shared this story, right? So I actually went back and took out that part of my book, reframed the wording, because again, my intention was not to be negative especially towards the ones that I worked with on a daily basis. I liked all the ones that I worked with at that current job, but now they felt slighted. They felt like I was personally attacking them. And a lot of people said, well, a hit dog will holler. And again, that was never my intention. So that was something subconsciously that was inside of me that had manifested into my book and was getting me those results from those people that I was working with. So that's why I'm saying, like, you have to really go inward and clean up the clutter and bring to light and process it, so that things like that won't trigger you in life, because we're a mirror, right? Our outside world is a mirror of what's going on internally. So obviously I felt slighted by those previous doctors that I had worked with at a different location, who didn't help and let us just run like crazy. And then when I wrote about them, the current doctors that I was working with, who I actually liked, took that as a jab towards them. And that was never my intention. So because I hadn't brought that to light, that I felt so slighted by the previous ones, and manifested outwards into the present, into that present situation, and caused those doctors to be mad. So long story short, I never got the reference letter. Actually, one of the locums assignment that I was gonna do, like what did I do? I think I had asked somebody else for a reference letter, and they were fine with writing it for me. And then all of a sudden, the locums assignment I was gonna do, they were like, we don't need her any longer. All of a sudden. So this goes to show you that you have to clean up what's inside first. So if you're one of those who is scared to approach your nurse manager about writing a reference letter, look internally and ask why. Why are you scared? Why do you feel like they won't give you a good reference? Why, unless they've come out and said, no, I'm not giving you a reference. If they haven't done that, look inwards and try to figure out why you're scared to ask them. Because that may be something inside of you that's not even true. But if you think it's true, it's going to manifest. And when you ask that nurse manager, they're going to be like, absolutely not. No, I'm not going to. So clean up stuff on the inside first, so that you can manifest on the outside what it is that you desire. And you can achieve all of this by working with me. My next class will be in January. I don't have the exact date yet, but I will start doing discovery calls for that cohort beginning December 1st. And I'm super excited. I'm going to offer 2 different time options for my day shift and my night shift people, so that if you do work night shift, I can meet with you first thing in the morning when you're getting off, and that will be your class setting. And then if you work day shift, I'll meet with you in the evening. So we're going to have 2 different time options, and I'm going to have some other goodies for you for this next cohort. But December 1st, discovery calls will be back open. I'll go ahead and save this live, because I feel like somebody will need to hear this story, because somebody out there is hesitating about going to their nurse manager or going to their boss about asking for a reference letter or anything like that. And I think this is a good example of where that may be coming up for you, something on the inside that we need to address. So I hope this helps. I know it's going to reach whoever it needs to reach, and it's going to activate something within them that they maybe didn't even realize that was there. So I'm happy to help. December 1st, we're going to start out with the next discovery calls. But I hope y'all have a fantastic Saturday. Do you like my nails? Oh, I didn't even notice my nails match my workout gear. Okay, I gotta get off here. But guys, have a great day, and I will see you later.